Welcome to this special edition of Leadership Advancement Mentorship Podcast, LAMP, a podcast in which we get to learn from leaders to get to know about their journey and how they started their leadership journey and how they embrace the price for growth and how mentorship has made them to be effective in their leadership. With me today is a fellow Maxwell Leadership Coach, Speaker, and Trainer, Coach Eyum Ejiga. How are you, man? Glad to have you with us.
Yeah, good evening from my own end because I'm joining from the UK, so it's an evening for me. So good evening, Dr. Koku. Nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. For a long time, I really want to have you on this podcast. Can you just tell us something about yourself so that we get to know something about you? Thank you.
All right. I'm a woman that wears many hats. So you already know me as a Maxwell Leadership Speaker and Coach. So what I want you to know about myself is that I'm the founder of My Pain Your Game Ministries. My Pain Your Game Ministry is a ministry that is a vision. I'm a person of faith, so it's a vision God gave me at a time that I was going through a lot of challenge. And I was asking God, is this how my life is going to end? Because I felt incapacitated at that time. And I just heard that voice. Why don't you make your pain the gain of somebody? And that is what I have been doing. So that is so the name in My Pain Your Game Ministries, whatever pain that I have been through or people have been through, we use that pain to help humanity. So that is one thing I want you to know about me.
Wow, that's awesome. You know what? I have an attitude of naming a podcast with punchy words. So we're going to be calling this session Unlocking Gain Through Pain.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, because the thing is, I just finished a series on turning your lemon into lemonade, how to unlock success through failure. You see, the thing about life is there's so much lesson to learn from every life experience. And that's why great leaders, they learn from their pain. So we can turn pain to gain.
That's true, absolutely.
So pain is a terrible thing to waste. So, and I'm so excited. For a long time, I didn't want to do this because a lot of people are going through pain. You know, someone said, don't transfer your pain, transform it.
Wow.
Don't transfer your pain. Don't say, well, I went through it. Someone else is going to go through the same thing. No, transform it. This is what we want to talk about today. How to transform your pain into gain. And the best person to do that is you, because you have a mandate for it. First of all, before we get to that corner, let's talk about how did you discover your leadership potential? I believe everyone has potential for leadership. It's not that maybe some people are born and some people they didn't hit the lottery. There's nothing like that. John Maxwell wrote the book, Developing the Leader Within You. That means we all have leadership potential inside of us. So the onus is on us to now be aware of it. Awareness is the first key to change. Then after awareness, you now need to accept responsibility to do what you need to do to experience the change. Now, tell us, how did you become aware? And when? Was it when you were little or when you were grown? How? Because people want to know how leaders how did they develop that awareness? When did you become aware that you have the leadership potential inside of you? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. When I think of it, I can't really place a particular time, but I happen to be a firstborn in my family. And because I'm firstborn, like I come from a polygamous family. So for my mom, she has 6 children. I'm the first child and I'm the only girl. So I have brothers. I have 5 brothers after me. And of course, because my father has other wives as well, I also have other siblings. So I have a lot of people that look up to me. So I think just growing up, I just have that consciousness that people are looking up to you. So you need to live in such a way that they will be proud to follow you. So I think I just grew up with that consciousness that I'm already leading from my family.
So that the situation sets you up to become aware that since people are looking up to me, that then you begin to look inside and you begin to realize that you have this potential. Now, when did you become so intentional in now developing that potential? Because potential is not enough without development. So when did you become intentional about your leadership development?
I became intentional about my leadership development in 2004. And that was after the birth of my fourth daughter, who happened to be born with very severe disabilities. Actually, that is where my pain your game came out of, but we'll go into that later. But what happened in that situation was that when she was born, because she was born with very severe disability, she was missing some limbs. She had a condition that was very rare. And she was very tiny. And I wanted to really feed her to make her to grow. Because each time I go out with her, I always return back crying, because when she was 6 months, they would say, "Oh, how old is your baby?" "She's 6 weeks." And I was like, it would break my heart. I was like, how can a 6 months old baby be looking like 6 weeks? So I would try to feed her so that at least she will grow and be big and not look very different from every other child. But she wasn't really taking in the food. And all effort for me to like do things for her to make her be like a typical child was not really working. And I had this like a light bulb moment that came on and said, there are certain things in life that are outside of my control. But certain things are also also within my control. And I don't know, for some reason, I just felt that if I can't make somebody else better, I can make myself better. And I just had this hunger that make yourself better. And then another thing again was that because of the situation I was dealing with at that time, I also learned that I could be better or bitter. And I didn't want to be bitter. I wanted to be better. So that desire to be better and to also make myself better if I can't help the situation in my hand created a deep hunger in me that I just started going out, buying books, going for conferences. I remember at that time I was living in Dublin in Ireland. I would always come for IGOC, this International Gathering of Champions organized by Pastor Matthew. I remember the first time I came for IGOC. That was in 2007. I was so hungry for knowledge that I was just buying books, buying cassettes, buying materials. But when I was returning back, I had excess luggage of materials. When it was lunchtime, I'll be on my way to go and have lunch. I'll see something, I'll use my lunch money to buy books. So I gathered so much material because I was so hungry to grow. So it was at that point that I just realized, following the birth of my daughter in 2004, that hunger started.
Wow, that's awesome. Someone said, and crisis make others to break down, but it also makes others to break through.
That's true.
Both experience a break, but one is true and one is down. And challenges can cause bitterness or betterness. It is our response that determines the outcome. And that's the thing about this. And I believe the broken are masters at mending. And because whatever we go through in life, we must not take it personal, because this becomes a springboard, and that's what you have decided to do. And I'm so really thankful for you that you are able to see it as a moment and for growth. You see the opportunity in that challenge, and I see that I'm going to make myself better. So the question is, you've told us about attending conferences, buying books. What other things did you do to develop your leadership potential?
Another thing I did again was to also plug into mentorship. I remember me even writing to, like, there were some women that I was looking up to then. I remember me writing to somebody, "Oh, please, can you mentor me? And then those that I didn't have access to, I was always like watching them on television, reading their books and all that. Yeah, so I plugged into mentorship and and then reading books, attending conferences. For me, those were
So who are the mentors that you really plugged into that has mentored you?
Yeah, one person that I really love, but she has mentored me from afar, is Joyce Meyer. And in fact, there was a time that there was no day I didn't watch Joyce Meyer. Because of the season I was then and what I was going through, her own life experience was such an inspiration to me. And it just showed me how to like navigate the path. And then another person, I don't know whether she's still a mentor, but I only got to just meet her maybe like two years ago. And it was even virtual when I brought her for a program I was hosting. But her book helped me greatly. And she was somebody that was born without arms at all. Just one leg that ends at the knee. That was what she had. So somebody gave me, in fact, this another mentor again, because when I was going through this, and a sister in church that stood by me, I look at her as a mentor as well. She got a book for me to encourage me. And that book really, really blessed me. I was so blessed with that book that I had to connect with a lady. I had to even bring her for a meeting I was holding. Yeah. Wow. So that those are some people that have mentored me. And there are a lot of, like, as a person of faith, I'm also in ministry. So I have a lot of men and women of God that I look up to and and that mentor me as well. And of course, John Maxwell, even before I joined the Maxwell Leadership, I've always been getting his mails on leadership, reading his books. So yes, he mentored me from afar until I got into Maxwell Leadership. And of course, like, you know, we have a lot of mentors in Maxwell Leadership. Maxwell Leadership, one of the people that I really work with is Roddy. He has really helped me in my speech.
Awesome. That's great. Roddy is awesome. And I remember I saw you yesterday at the mentorship call. Yeah, you were there.
I always attend Roddy's calls.
And he'll be in Philadelphia next week. I'll be glad to meet with him one-on-one again.
Oh, that's nice.
Now let's get to it. How do you turn pain? Now, some people are listening to you right now. They're going through a lot of pain. And they just feel like giving up. Like I said, challenges and cause bitterness or bitterness is our response that determine the outcome. So how do we transform pain into gain instead of transferring pain to others?
Yeah, great question. In transferring pain into gain, we need to take a step back if you're going through pain. And just look at your pain, that this pain is not about me. That is one thing that I really came to understand, and I believe strongly, that whatever pain you go through in life is not about you. We get consumed in pain when we think it's about us. So you're only just thinking about you. You're not looking beyond your nose. You're just looking at the immediate circumstance, thinking, oh, how do I look? Look at what I'm going through. But when you look beyond, when you have that big picture, you know that pain is not about you. And if it's not about you, then what is it about? So for me, I always say that whatever anybody throws at me, whatever the devil throws at me, he's going to regret it, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to let that pain waste. Because I know it's not about me. It's about using it to help others. And one thing I realize is that when you think your pain is about you and you become that inward focused, you will live an unfulfilling life. You will live, you will feel the pain. But when you now begin to see that this thing is not about me, there's a bigger purpose attached to this pain, then you find a way to begin to fulfill that purpose. You find that that pain will no longer have any grip over you. You even if you feel it, it will not really hold you down. In fact, at a point you won't even feel it again, to become like a normal way of life, because the fulfillment you will get using your experience to help others far surpass whatever pain that you feel. So by the time you begin to help others, the joy, the testimonials you get, for somebody to just say, oh, if not because of you, I would have given up. if not because of you. Somebody, like, I always tell people, I said, if in the whole world, nobody can go to bed at night thanking God for your life, apart from your immediate family, then for me, that life is not the life that's worth living.
That's true.
And then when you begin to use your pain to help others, you find that there are people in different places that are thanking God for you, that are praying for you because you have been able to help them. Oh, it's just having that mindset that this pain is not about me. If it's not about me, what is it about? And when you begin to ask questions like that, ideas begin to come to you. You begin to get direction on how to channel that pain, and it will now become helpful to other people.
Wow, that's awesome. I just love this. And this is so enriching. And because somebody needs this, because so many people, like I said, they transfer their pain instead of transform their pain. When you transfer your pain, you are wasting it.
Exactly.
But when you transform your pain, that pain is being invested to create something of great value, which is gain for others.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very important that to realize that, and like what you've said, and quit making it and taking it personal.
Yeah.
And also you have to see the big picture and to realize that this is not about me, and it's all about being an inspiration to so many lives, and that is to come. So, and can you tell us what more can people do in turning that pain into gain as we close? Thank you.
So in turning your pain into gain, like when you now realize that it's not about me, then you now begin to find, okay, what is it about? I'm sure as you're asking those questions, you begin to find answers to what you can do. And in trying to do that, you find that, like when I was speaking initially, I said, when I didn't want to be bitter, I wanted to be better.
Yeah.
But I found that I was not equipped to live at that better level. So it's now about you beginning now to train yourself. How can I equip myself to function at this level of using my pain to help others? I'm sure you've heard this saying before, that they say a hurting person will hurt another person.
Yeah.
So when you know that it's not about me, I'm sure you begin to heal, and then you also begin to work on yourself. Those areas that I'm still hurting, those areas that my attitude is still not okay, I need to start working on myself. And as I'm working on myself, I'm now seeing that this is an opportunity for me to help another person. For instance, I talked about my daughter that was born with severe disabilities. It was when I heard that word, make your pain the gain of others, I started my Pain Your Gain ministries. What I was just doing there was just bringing words of encouragement to people. Because one of the things I was doing was that I was reading a lot, I was studying a lot, I was getting blessed, I was getting hope. And the same way I was getting hope, I was now using avenues to channel that hope. I was writing in the newspaper, I was in fact, it was because of the experience I started writing. And when I wrote my first book, he gave me comfort. So the process I went through to receive comfort from God, I now decided to share that experience with other people. And many people, even till now, they still come to me. Oh, when I pick your book, I can't drop it. It has given me hope. Now I see my situation differently. So it's about changing your perspective, changing your mindset, and equipping yourself to grow. And I started doing that. And of course, along the line, she died at the age of 15, which was this year to be 5 years that she passed. And I looked at it again, and I was already in this part of any pain I experience, I'm going to turn it into gain. And that made me that, okay, what can I do? I thought about the experience I had of raising a severely disabled child. I live in the UK. I understand the support we get from the government while living here. But I realized that even with that support, it is still very difficult raising a special needs child. And being originally from Nigeria, I think each time I travel, I see the pain that people that have disabled children go through. Because there, the children are ostracized, they don't accept them as members of the family. In fact, I had a friend that had a special needs sister, and then we hide her in the room. That even when we're going to visit, you can't even access these children. And then those that are even able and are not hiding them, you see that a child that is maybe big, they are still having to carry that child because they don't have facilities. And that, because of the compassion my experience has created, I decided that, okay, I'm going to now support children living with disabilities.
Wow, that's awesome.
And by the grace of God, we started that in Gracie Pass in 2019, and then we started, I think, in 2021. Yeah, we got the charity registered and all that. We started, and every year we've been doing it. So I've done like 2 outreaches in Nigeria. I've done one in Sierra Leone this year.
Wow!
Every year we pick an African country. We go, we give them wheelchairs, we give them aids, and the feedback that I get, they are so happy with the wheelchair. But one of the things they are so happy with is that somebody remembered us. Because they just say, oh, you mean somebody remembered us, somebody can identify with us, because in this part of the world, we are just on our own. There's no help, there's no support. So turning your pain into gain, it's just looking at, the experience you have been through. So that compassion. That just look at somebody else going through what you have been through. And then how can I make this person's life a little bit easier? So it's just that simple.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it doesn't have to be any big thing that you do. Sometimes it's even just like I said, when we give them wheelchairs, they appreciate it, but they are more appreciative that you identified with them.
Wow, that's awesome.
So you ask me, how is my child? Nobody bothers to ask us. They even push us away, but you asked me, how am I doing? So that alone is even supporting somebody that will give them hope to like their body.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. I wish we can spend so much time, but really this has been so great, and I believe someone's going to be helped. As I listen to you, I think about what Robert Enslin said. He said, love is the condition in which the happiness of another person is essential to your own. And that's the thing. That's what I see in you. And that's what love is. When the happiness of another person becomes, essential to your own. That's what real love is, real compassion. And I want to say thank you. I want to summarize what we learned from you today, unlocking gain through pain. And I gave it an acronym. I'm an acronym person. And I'm going through an acronym called PAIN. So what we learned today is not personal. That P is not personal. That means don't take it personal. And the A, you need to have a big picture. You need to have a big picture. See beyond you. See others in it. And the I is see it as an opportunity for inspiration, to inspire others, like you're doing in Sierra Leone, in Nigeria, helping other people. And the N is you need to nurture yourself. That means you need to grow yourself, and that nurturing from mentorship and an other form of nurturing that can help you, because when we grow bigger, we see things different.
Exactly.
Growth helps us and to change. Growth is just like going from the ground zero and you go to 50th floor. The view is different when you grow. So this is why we have such podcasts like this, to bring leaders like you. We want to say thank you. So how can people connect with you? Maybe people are hearing you, and I tell you, they can just get enough from you. So, and they say, oh, I didn't want to connect with you. Where can people find you? I know where to find you, but where can people find you, and how can they get connected with you? Tell us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I'm on most of the social media platforms. So you can find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. I have a Twitter account. I'm not so active on Twitter, but just look for Eyum Ejiga on these social media platforms. You'll find me. And if you want to know more about what we do in my Pain Your Game Ministries, you can go to mypainyourgameministries.com, www.mypainyourgameministries.com. So you can find a lot about us there as well. And then I have my books that are also on Amazon. So if you type Eyum Ejiga on Amazon, and then I have 3 books right now. My first one is He Gave Me Comfort. The other one is Through the Storm. And then my latest one is Mama Grace.
Wow.
And all my books are inspirational, where I tell my story and I use my life experience to help people. So I believe my vision in life, or my mission in life, is to help people overcome adversity.
Wow.
I've only told you one thing that I went through, but there are a couple of other things I've been through. So,
wow. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Please check out the book on Amazon, and I will be putting the link. I'll make sure I put the link right here on this channel where you can get it at this particular episode, because we want people to learn and to get resources. And one of my 8th book, number 8, that I'm working on right now is called Do Life Big. Don't leave your dream, live your dream. And I want to appreciate you for doing life big. And thank you so much for your time and for sharing your wisdom with us. So viewers and listeners, thank you so much for being part of today's Leadership Advancement Mentorship Podcast. Till we come your way with another great leader next time, don't forget, it's not all about information, it's all about application, because application is the key to transformation. Apply what you learn and experience multiplication and be a change maker. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye. Yeah.